We've got some breaking news out of the NFL where Joe Burrow suffered a non-contact calf injury at practice earlier today. The Pro Bowl QB appeared to injure himself while scrambling during an 11-on-11 drill. He was carted off the field and taken to the locker room.
Should Burrow return to the field without a new contract?
No, of course not. As far as I'm concerned.
Anytime we're dealing with a strain of any muscle, it's an overstretch of the muscle. They're broken down into 3 categories: a grade 1 strain, a grade 2 strain, and a grade 3 strain. Grade 1 is the least severe, where the muscle's partially overstretched, and when we get all the way to grade 3, the muscle's torn full through, and it's oftentimes a surgical situation.
All right, man, let me tell you a story. On July 24th, my boy texted in the group chat. Look like NFL training camp is on this routine hunt for knees. Then I respond in true group chat fashion. Man, it's the scariest time of the year, bro. Halloween. Over the next several days, I watched the likes of Gary Wilson and Jalen Ramsey go down with scary camp injuries. Fast forward a day or two, now it's July 27th, and I'm refreshing Twitter waiting to hear news from Bengals camp. Now the news that I'm hearing is about some pass breakups. So like an obsessed fan, I'm naturally thinking the offense must not be looking good, which is ironic because the day before I thought, man, defense got to step it up. It's like no matter who wins in camp, I am never happy. Because no matter what side is winning, whoever's getting cooked is still on my team. But anyway, news is coming in slow. So I say, you know what? Instead of letting my fingers get all the exercise refreshing this screen, I'm going to hit this hot ass garage and go get me a workout. Let me sweat off some of this energy so I can focus on something important. I do. I have a great workout, I shower, then I eat. I come back and I refresh Twitter. Like, you gotta be kidding me. I know that ain't my franchise quarterback limping with a non-contact injury. Not after he didn't have a camp his rookie year due to COVID, and then he didn't have a normal camp his second year coming off the ACL. Then he didn't have camp his third year because on the first day of training camp, this man got out the bed and his fucking appendix burst. Now out of 2 of those 3 years that started terribly, one ended in the Super Bowl and the other ended in the AFC Championship, so we still had good seasons. But we started out really slow in both of those years. And I'm not just talking wins and losses, I'm talking a product on the field. The consistency, the sharpness, the timing, being used to the speed. And then by week 4 or 5 is when we finally start looking good. I was hoping, just like literally every other Bengals fan, that this could be the first year where we came out the gate smoking. Now this next thing has been adopted from an ancient philosophy that was deeply explored in the original How High. It goes, come out the gate smoking, in the season smoking. But just like an IG caption, just because it got a nice ring to it doesn't actually mean that it stands up to logic. See, every year I see teams start extremely fast. Every single September, people say this team is going to the Super Bowl. Then by the time December rolls around, that team that started 0-2 is actually the team to beat. We all know the NFL season is a marathon and not a sprint. But with that said, you'd prefer not to fall down leaving the starting line. Alright, let's stop for a moment to thank today's sponsor, Aura. So my wife recently was doing a search on some info for a family member. While doing that search, bro, the craziest thing happened. Her information popped up on the screen with her name and old phone number and one of our old addresses. Now, if she hadn't changed that information recently, then it all would have been current, just floating around on the internet for anybody to find. Now, if you search your name and find yourself in a similar situation, you can use today's sponsor, Aura, to get that easily removed. Data brokers are making a fortune selling your information to robocallers, spammers, and others who want to learn more about you, like what's your email address, maybe what's your phone number, or even information like where do you live. But Aura can identify data brokers exposing your info and submit opt-out requests on your behalf. Brokers are legally required to remove your info if you ask them to, but they make it super hard to do, so let Aura handle it for you. They do that, and they also do a ton to protect you and your family from different types of online threats that you can't see. Now you can try Aura free for 2 weeks using my link. You can click it down in the description or just use the QR code on the screen. It's real easy to set up. You don't gotta download different apps to get things like parental controls, antivirus, VPN, and you get all of that at one affordable price. So let Aura do the hard work of keeping you safe online so you can focus on other tasks with a peace of mind. You can let people continue to exploit your personal info or go to aura.com/FlemLo to start your 2-week trial now. Man, shout out to Aura once again for sponsoring today's video, and without further ado, it's time to jump back in. Bro, going into his 4th NFL season and Joe Burrow still hasn't had a normal training camp. For a player who always talks about how much he needs reps in order to be at his best, it's a big deal. Especially because if you're watching close, bro, you can see the correlation between more reps for Joe and top level Joe. Because while improvisation is a part of his game, his ability to pick you apart within structure is still key. According to Adam Schefter, at least one coach has admitted that they flat out hate the first 2 weeks of training camp, even saying they should restructure the way the offseason is done. This is presumably due to the higher than normal injury rate and just the randomness that happens within those first 2 weeks of camp. But the whole restructuring the offseason thing, I don't know if that's the move. Honestly, I don't think that's the move. I just chalk this up to bad luck. Now, obviously, a calf strain, which this has been confirmed to be, is technically the best case scenario for Joe Burrow. The worst case scenario would have been an Achilles, but most experts quickly ruled that out after they saw him flexing his foot. Also, I forgot to mention that whatever it is, it had already been bothering him because he showed up at day 2 wearing the calf sleeve. The super cautious thing would have been to hold him out, and I'm pretty damn sure the Bengals staff probably suggested it. But if you've never had a normal training camp and you're thinking, this is super minor, I can practice, I'm just hurt, I'm not injured. I'm speculating, but that seems to be in line with Joe's personality, and without that personality, he wouldn't be Joe, so you just gotta live with it. So again, calf strain. That has been confirmed, but what hasn't been confirmed is the severity of the calf strain. I was watching Cincinnati Bengals talk with James Rapine early this morning, and the doctor he had on said a severe calf injury could literally cause Joe to miss most of the season, and if the injury was bad enough that it could even require surgery. He also said that that is most likely not the case and is most likely a grade 1, but of course there's no way he can know. Right now, all the signs seem to point to a grade 1, given this tweet by the Bengals, this quote from Jamar Chase, and general positivity that seems to be surrounding the situation. So if it's grade 1, which again seems to be best case scenario, it seems that Joe is once again gonna miss his 4th straight training camp, get no preseason snaps, and then in week 1 have to go and dodge live full speed bullets from Myles Garrett. Last year he had the Steelers in week 1 with no practice, and he ended up throwing like 4 interceptions, played the worst game I've probably ever seen him play, and somehow still came back and drove us down for what should have been a game-winning touchdown. But even if we once again have to get off to a slow start, we'll still most likely be contending for a Super Bowl by the end of the year. But I'm still disappointed because I just wanted to see a full strength Joe from the jump, you know what I'm saying? I really wanted him to put his MVP stamp on this season, and while it's obviously still possible, it's also obviously less likely. I would have loved for him to get that first bad game out the way in the preseason, and judging off the way that they've been talking, that was absolutely the plan. But now we're once again winging it, just hoping that week 1 he'll be close to 100%, and we just gotta hope that's good enough. But injuries are a natural part of the game of football, a natural part that I naturally fucking hate. So we'll see how it plays out, but in the meantime, live in fear, because NFL training camp is the scariest time of the year.